Welcome back to That Park Place. My name is Vash Sky. Very much appreciate you all joining us right here because we're going to be talking about some theme parks. Not Disney theme parks, not Universal theme parks. We're going to be talking about Six Flags and maybe Six Flags getting desperate. Before we get into that, though, Nolan is here to join me from That Game Place. Hello there, sir.
I love Six Flags, at least the ones I've been to. I know they're kind of hit and miss, but I went to the one in Chicago. It was a good time. Good time. I'm an amusement park guy, so I hope we have some great news about Six Flags and they're not doing really dumb stuff. Am I right?
I think we do actually have some really good news. If you were a guest looking to go to Six Flags, I think this is amazing news, actually, because, well, Six Flags is basically giving away the entire cow when you buy the bottle of milk. It's... I know it's a little strange, but here you go, folks. This from Attractions Magazine right here. Sale extended. Six Flags 2026 season pass. Buy pass for any park. Get 50 other parks for free. This by Blake Taylor. September 5th, 2025. Six Flags for a limited time. When guests buy a pass to any Six Flags park, they'll get all other parks for free. The Six Flags MVP, or Most Valuable Pass, sale is underway and continues through originally, I guess, September 1st, but now September 14, 2025. During this time, guests who purchase a Gold or Prestige tier 2026 season pass or renew a 2025 pass for 2026 to any theme park owned by Six Flags will receive admission to that park for the rest of 2025, admission to that park for all of 2026, admission to all other Six Flags owned parks for the rest of 2025, admission to all other Six Flags owned parks for all of 2026, free parking, which is absolutely massive, and then bring a friend ticket for use in 2025.
What a freaking bargain!
Oh yes, absolutely. They are giving away. I mean, I said the cow, but basically the farm, right? I mean, this is quite a bit right here. Definitely value orientated. And look, for guests, for the people going here, which we are happy advocates for. This is absolutely amazing. And if you want to visit a Six Flags park, I guess there's no better time to do that. Only problem is, Nolan, the only issue is that, from Six Flags corporate, this seems like desperation to me. And the reason why I say that is because we know that based on Six Flags' latest earnings report, they didn't do so hot. They really, really didn't. I guess they still have $500 million in debt. Revenue down in Q2 by about $100 million, and then just dropped 9%. Season pass sales down 8%. You have some parks in the chain actually going away permanently, and their CapEx, their new coasters and so forth, some of those have been delayed, some of them maybe even canceled. You have Matt We Met, the previous CEO of Cedar Fair. Again, this was before the merger here. He's coming out and saying he doesn't really like what he's seeing right there. You have a 10% headcount reduction right there. There's been a lot of stuff going on. And so, hey, great time to visit for sure, but I want to go ahead and visit not just in 2026. I want to make sure I can visit these parks, in 2036, right? And it just seems like we're heading in the wrong direction. Nolan, your extended thoughts on this story, please.
Well, I'll tell you, initial thoughts are I need to call up my friend because apparently we're going to buy one of these passes. No sponsorship here, but I'm like, okay, next year, like any park, why not? But then I have to think about, and I think you were alluding to this as well, I think we're on the same wavelength here, 2027. Is Six Flags still going to be there? Because I keep hearing about all these stuff get shut down. It's sounding like this whole merger thing did not solve their problems. If anything, it might have made it harder for Cedar Fair, which is my personal, it's my most emotionally connected to park. I grew up on Cedar Point and Kings Island and whatever have you. And to see these, they're stuck in this hole. Six Flags has been stuck in a hole for a while. And I think they can get out of it. They have good products and stuff, but you knew this was already going to be a tricky year with the opening of Epic Universe. Disney might be fumbling around a little bit and closing some things for, renovations or expansion or, like retheming, like say the Cars expansion or not expansion, redesign of Tom Sawyer Island. They got to wall stuff off for a little while. Epic is going to be your biggest competitor. So I know it's going to be a little bit tricky of a year, but it's not impossible. And bad decisions, they're catching up to them. And for them to pull something like this, it feels like you kind of go to the bankruptcy sale of an old store. It's like, yeah, you got something that was $20 for $2, but At what cost, if the store's closed, then you don't get to come back one day and it's not a long-term success. I do not want to see Six Flags go anywhere. Yeah, we meme on them sometimes that their quality hasn't quite been Cedar Fair or Disney, but I've been to Six Flags. They're a fun park. There's a lot of places under the Six Flags umbrella. And if anything were to ever happen to them, it could be tragic and such a massive hole on the amusement park industry that will never be repaired. So I hope they can figure something out here, but this isn't just a red flag. There are 6 red flags that need to be in the air right now.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I mean, you gotta be sending all kinds of red flags up, because I think you're right, Dylan. I think when you see what has occurred at this amazing chain, now including Cedar Fair parks, which are beloved, especially by the locals who actually frequent them, you look at this stuff and you just go, my goodness gracious, what are you guys doing over there? It's just. I think the Cedar Fair executives who basically took over the Six Flags chain, I think they underestimated just what kind of dire straits the Six Flags side of the business was in. And when they inherited those problems, it was like, we have to do something about this in an economic environment in which people, aren't going to theme parks as often. I think it's going to be a few years, if I'm not mistaken, until theme park visitation is restored back to 2019 levels. And so when you look at something like this, right, it's like from an executive standpoint, we got to make some changes, we got to make some moves, we got to pay down this debt, which I think Six Flags has had ever since the Time Warner days. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. And when you
don't
look
want that to be money for nothing, you don't.
Right, exactly. And the other thing, Nolan, is that we are all devastated by the loss of King Ka. There's no question about it. It was something I never got to write. I wish I had written it.
Same.
Yeah, and to lose it was heartbreaking. It was devastating. But I, from what I have understood, like Magic Mountain, for example, in Valencia, California, that has a coaster called X2. Right, it's like a 4th-dimensional coaster. It actually, is the coaster that took down. Oh yes, took down Arrow back in the day, and very expensive to maintain, very expensive to operate. But I've heard that one coaster accounts for like a third of that park's annual maintenance budget. Just one coaster, right? Yeah. And so when you're faced with decisions like that, and when you're faced with big time attractions that do keep people in the door, that do make these parks relevant, but also at the same time when you're sinking so much capital into maintaining aging coasters like that, well, then you make tough decisions. And I think King Ka was a victim of that. And I also think that, Six Flags Magic Mountain's own Superman coaster was a victim of that as well. And I think, what was it? The chief financial officer for Six Flags, Brian Withrow, said that 90% of the company's earnings before taxes and interest comes from just 15 parks. And maybe that's also why they've been closing parks like Six Flags America over in Maryland, or I think there's a Six Flags park closing in California as well.
Yes.
You're making these tough decisions, and you're not going to be popular for it. But do you make them in order to really kind of save this brand, this franchise, at a pivotal point in the tourism industry? Maybe perhaps so. Go ahead, Nolan.
No, I agree. Like, when you start announcing you're going to close beloved memories from roller coasters to theme parks, even if it's economically viable, it's still hard, And this Six Flags is different from, say, take a Walt Disney World, where, it's all about Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, the culture of everything. Six Flags was built off of, or at least they made a name for themselves off of record-breaking coasters. And if you're removing the coasters, and you're not making the funds to keep up with these maintenance budgets, that's way more devastating than, say, if in Disney they got rid of, say, the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, or something like that. Because you still have the core of the park, which is, like It's a Small World, Carousel of Progress, whatever
Pirates of the
have you.
Caribbean, Haunted Mansion. Oh, yeah.
Exactly. To where these are literally the reason you go to these parks. You go for the thrills. You go for good times. And if they can't deliver it on that, they'll never get out of this hole. And it is devastating. There's something that needs to happen here, like some kind of outside the box idea, or else they're just going to falter in a few years. And that's one of the worst things that can happen to entertainment industry as a whole. Am I wrong on that?
No. It's very, very bad. This business is very interesting because it's not like you can just maintain the big draws with no consequences. If an aging coaster ends its service life, at some point, even if that company does still exist, right, you still have to kind of think about, okay, do we retract this? Do we modernize some of the parts and pieces that may have been discontinued by that manufacturer? If the manufacturer has gone away, now how do you maintain that attraction? Even if you might have a hit, even if you might have a draw, you still have to make these tremendous decisions to maintain the business. That's your fiduciary responsibility to your shareholders and to the people who are actually employed by you. So it's like this really kind of tough stuff there. It's not an enviable position by any means. It's not the position I'd like to be in. We also have heard that Six Flags might be selling off some land holdings and so forth, which that's basically your future right there in order to generate the capital necessary to continue investments and keep people coming back. Nolan, that
expansion.
When you have coasters that open on an annual basis or whatever, that's what keeps people coming in. That's the draw that gets people to come back. So it's vital. It's important. And I just hope, even though this deal is awesome, it's fantastic, and go out and get it, folks. Come on, what are you doing? I worry about the Six Flags chain. I really do, because there's a lot of parks at stake. You're talking about over 40 parks right now. And that includes like Knott's Berry Farm. That includes Cedar Point. That includes a lot of the ones that we have all grown up going to and loving. You got to make the right decision. So
think about Superman over in Magic Mountain. Think of that ride. That is one of the symbols of Six Flags. They need Superman to come save the day right now. That's what they need.
And it's closing. And it's gone. Well, hopefully we don't lose any more coasters, and hopefully we don't lose any other great executives that have kept these parks the places that people actually want to visit. I do think some of the changes have been good. For example, Cedar Fair did away with like this convenience charge fee that they were charging for every single concession sale. It was nuts.
And locker.
Yeah, well, we have another story on that, Nolan, but we have to get to that at another time. Knott's Berry Farm, not too kind when it comes to the lockers, but that's neither here nor there. Nolan, I want to go ahead and thank you for joining me here on That Park Place, and very much appreciate that. Make sure you check out Nolan's personal channel along with That Game Place. I know we just got done with a tremendous live stream. Definitely check out the restream on that. And hey, hit the comment section. Tell me what's your favorite coasters. What are you maybe concerned about or happy about when it comes to the Six Flags brand? We'd love to hear your comments down there. Make sure you like this video, share this video if you really do like us, and make sure you follow That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.